to South Zone News.
A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Radio Nigeria. South Zone News at 3. The headlines. State health ministries highlight measures to put in place to improve health care delivery. Bioscience urged not to lose confidence in the electoral process. United States issues satellite images indicting Iran on Saudi oil facilities attacks. Today's commentary is on the need for cooperation of citizens in tackling crime in the society. Details in a moment. Good afternoon. Let's support youths as leaders of tomorrow to become agents of change. My name is Rachel ONAH with the news. Now the news in full. State health ministries highlight measures put in place by their various state governments to improve health care delivery to the people. The Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Dominic Okpong, at a forum in Asaba, said the state government had established functional medical response system to take care of residents of the state in moments of distress and critical medical needs. Correspondent Sami Ruse brings us details.
A functional emergency medical system is key to saving lives of patients in moments of their need and by extension achieving universal health coverage. In many states of the country, there is a nearly total absence of a functional emergency medical system, as attested to recently in Asaba by the Health Minister, Dr. Osagi Ehanire. The situation appears gradually changing for good in Akwa Ibom State with the ongoing establishment of a functional emergency medical response system in the state. Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Dominic Okpong, said the state government had procured some ambulances and that the training for the emergency medical response system personnel was ongoing.
Besides, our government also is training people on emergency response. We have invited on 2 occasions specialists to train people on basic life support and advanced cardiac life support, so that if any emergency occurs, it is possible for these people to rise up and help the victim. We have started to establish our emergency medical response system.
The Akwa Ibom State Commissioner for Health said the state had also repositioned the primary healthcare system to meet the needs of rural dwellers in the state. According to him, the local government healthcare system had been moved into the primary healthcare development agency. On the secondary healthcare system, Dr. Okpong said the state government had reconstructed many general hospitals and equipped them with modern facilities, hinting that over 60 containers of medical equipment were still being awaited. The health commissioner said the governor of Akwa Ibom State had approved the employment of 250 nurses and 150 doctors to meet the shortfall of medical personnel in the 46 general hospitals in the state.
In addition to the house officers, 98 of them that we have hired, in addition to 25 specialist consultants, some of who have retired but are very competent, who are going to train the other doctors. So in terms of staffing, doctors, nurses, the next step will be pharmacists and lab scientists is going to approve for him.
He said the state government was also intensifying efforts to meet all the requirements for the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund to enable each drug fund to improve the health services. Delta State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Mondi Onoyen, said the state government had taken steps to improve on the institutional capacity of health facilities to deliver quality healthcare services through massive renovation and remodeling of facilities, installation of modern equipment and equitable placement of human resources for health. He highlighted other achievements of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa's administration to include the rolling out of a revitalized emergency ambulances in the state with free toll lines. From Asaba, Sam Erunse, Radio Nigeria.
Nigerians have been advised to actively participate in the budgetary process to ensure proper implementation of government projects in the country. Special advisor to the Akwa Ibom State Governor on Budget, Mr. Nicholas Ekarika, who stated this during the 5th edition of the State Open Budget Forum in Oyo, said citizens' involvement in budget formulation will enhance budget monitoring and tracking. Mr. Ekarika noted that the Open Budget Program of the Akwa Ibom State Government gives those residing in the state the right to interact with government on the formulation and implementation of projects to be executed in the state.
We normally have what we call pre-budget interaction. That is open budget. That gives an opportunity for citizens to interact with government through budget office. And those interactions will eventually be taken, and it will affect every program, project of government.
Also speaking, a lecturer from the Department of Economics, University of Uyo, Professor Chris Ekong, stressed the importance of budget tracking as one of the measures to checkmate corruption.
Public expenditure tracking involves tracing the flows of public funds, tries to examine the manner, quantity, timing, and quality of expenditures. The effective budget tracking must start at the conception or planning stage of the budgeting process. This is where plans, visions are matched with revenue. At this point, the public will be informed whether government plans are in sync with what they want to get from government and if they can afford funding such.
Professor Ekong added that budget tracking can be achieved through advocacy by civil society organizations and social media platforms. The Executive Director, Policy Alert, Mr. Tija Akpan, stated that one of the measures to stamp out corruption from the public service is to make the budget of the state transparent and accountable to citizens.
It is important to look at one of the biggest tools which the government uses to deliver development outcomes to the citizenry as a strategy for combating corruption, and that tool is the budget.
Mr. Akpan, who identified information as sparse, said informed citizens will assist in stopping corruption through tracking in budgets. Ahead of the November 16 governorship election in Bayelsa State, a non-governmental organization known as Yaga Africa is calling on Bayelsans not to lose confidence in the electoral process, but to conduct themselves peacefully to ensure that the atmosphere is conducive for voting. The organization, which made this call during a watching the vote roundtable discussion with media professionals in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, stressed the need for journalists to assist in rebuilding the confidence of Bayelsans in the electoral process through their reportage and to reduce voter apathy. The director watching the votes project, Ms. Cynthia Mbamalo, said the Yaga Africa acknowledges the fears of violence and vote buying and selling raised by many Bayelsans, but enjoined all eligible voters to be part of the process, saying that they will deploy officials to monitor the polls and release the statistics which interested parties can use as a point of reference.
Yaga Africa works to promote democracy and development in Nigeria and in Africa. Our election is one of our major programs. So for Bayelsa State, we would be under our Watching the Vote project, deploying observers to observe the electoral process. And we would have 21 long-term observers deployed to observe the pre-election environment in the 8 local governments in the state. And then on elections day, we would have 500 stationary observers deployed to polling units and 21 mobile observers roving the local governments in the state. We would have 8 LGA results collation observers stationed at the LGA results collation centers.
In a remark, the chairman of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ Bayelsa State Council, Mr. Samuel Numonengi, commended his colleagues for being objective and fair to all aspirants and political parties during the just concluded primaries, and also urged them to do same before, during, and after the elections.
Let's continue to be professional, just as we have been. I think before the PDP and APC primaries that people were talking about, I noticed something, that this year, all conventional journalists, they were all professional. I didn't see any of them taking sides or attacking, calling names. I was going through most of their reports and I noticed they were all balanced. Even when the reports were paid for, we were trying to avoid anything that will really cause problems, and I want to commend them for that. And I believe they will continue even during and after the elections. For Yaga Africa, we will continue to support you.
Our correspondent, JCSA, reports that during the roundtable, some journalists also expressed concern about some aspects of the voter registration, urging Yaga Africa to partner other civil society organizations to take up the issue with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The Anglican Bishop of the Niger Delta Province, Archbishop Tunde Adeleye wants the federal government to come up with a comprehensive development plan that will accommodate Nigerians being evacuated from South Africa to the country so as to make life meaningful for them. The clergy gave the indication while addressing journalists on issues affecting the nation at the Holy Trinity Cathedral of Anglican Communion Calabar, Cross River State. Archbishop Adeleye, who doubles as the chairman, Christian Council of Nigeria South Zone, said the quest for greener pastures by Nigerian youths was as a result of economic hardship and lack of employment across the country. Describing the xenophobic attacks on Nigerians in South Africa as regrettable, the Archbishop noted that the incident should be a wake-up call for Nigerian leaders to make the country good enough for citizens to stay. On security, Archbishop Adeleye also said more had to be done to positively change the security architecture of the country in order to encourage people to invest more in the country for socio-economic development. The National Security Advisor, retired Major General Babagana Mongono, says border closure will remain until the objectives behind the closure are achieved. Retired Major General Mongono told journalists that the ongoing Joint Task Force operation, which is the reason for the closure, will extend beyond the 28 days earlier fixed and will last till the objectives are achieved. He said the exercise is to free the country from criminal activities, including smuggling, and enhance the economy and also secure the state of livelihood. The NSA therefore called for cooperation and collaboration from neighboring countries to ensure the smooth operation of the exercise. The border closure exercise, which commenced on August 21, is carried out in 4 sectors of North Central, North West, Southwest, and South-South geopolitical zones. You're listening to Radio Nigeria, South-South Zone is a 3. Here are stories in the bulletin so far. State health ministries highlight measures to put in place to improve healthcare delivery. Bielsans urged not to lose confidence in the electoral process. Still ahead, United States issues satellite images indicting Iran on Saudi oil facilities attacks. Plus business, entertainment, sports, and commentary. Stay with us.
The words of our elders are words of wisdom. We can see the result of corruption everywhere. Examination malpractices, fuel scarcity, unkept surrounding, ghost workers, illegal trade and smuggling, tax evasion, fraud, election fraud, broken homes, 419, and above all, the bad image we create to the outside world. The questions are, can we afford to continue this way? Are we all comfortable? A few people benefit from all these ills. What about those who do not benefit from it? The task is to stop them, not to join them. Discourage all forms of corrupt practices because corruption takes you and the country backwards. Without corruption, you and the country will move forward in progress.
The words of our elders are words of wisdom.
The wise man hears and gets wiser.
You're welcome back. The news continues.
And now business news.
The Bank of Agriculture, BOA, says it has so far disbursed the sum of 84 billion naira to farmers under the Anchor Borrowers Program out of the 100 billion naira received from the Central Bank of Nigeria. For details of these and more on business news, let's join Austin Ine.
Managing Director of BOA, Malam Kabir Adamu, made this known while receiving participants and officials of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPSS, Kuru Jos, in his office. Malam Adamu observed that through the CBN's Anchor Borrowers program, BOA has impacted on over 500,000 farmers directly and indirectly and is targeting 1.7 million farmers. The BOA boss explained that the Anchor Borrowers program is a product of the CBN and BOA was a major financial institution that is used as a platform to reach the farmers. He further stressed that the bank has the expertise and network of input suppliers that are constantly in touch with the farmers. At the international oil market, oil prices rose nearly 20% on Monday, with Brent posting its biggest intraday gain since the Gulf War in 1991. After an attack on Saudi Arabian oil facilities at the weekend halved the kingdom's production. Prices came off their peaks after US President Donald Trump authorized the use of his country's emergency stockpile to ensure stable supply. Brent crude futures rose as much as 19.5% to $71.95 per barrel, the biggest intraday jump since January 14, 1991. US crude futures climbed as much as 15.5% to $63.34 per barrel, the biggest intraday percentage gain since January 22, 1998. Saudi Arabia has assured that there is enough oil in global stockpiles to replace barrels it has temporarily lost due to attacks on its oil facilities, according to its energy minister Alexander Novak on Monday. At the foreign exchange markets, the US dollar stands at 307 naira at the interbank rate, while it exchanges for 360 naira at the parallel market. The euro is equivalent to 337 naira at the interbank rate and goes for 396 naira at the parallel market. The British pound goes for 379 naira at the interbank rate, while it is 450 naira at the parallel market. That's it on Business News. I am Austin Ine.
We'll now bring you foreign news. The United States has issued satellite images and cited intelligence to back its claims that Iran was behind attacks on major Saudi oil facilities. Let's join Emeka Chime for more news from the foreign scene.
Iran has denied involvement in the air attacks which were claimed by Iran-aligned Houthi rebels in Yemen. But unnamed U.S. officials speaking to U.S. and international media say the direction and extent of the attacks cast doubt on Houthi involvement. The incident has cut global oil supplies by 5% and prices have soared. Away from that, personal data of almost every Ecuadorian citizen has been found exposed online. Names, financial information, and civil data of about 17 million people, including 6.7 million children, was found by a security company. The massive cache of data was found on an unsecured Amazon cloud server almost anyone could look at. Access to the server has now been restricted thanks to Ecuador's computer emergency security team. Elsewhere, Liberia's Vice President Joel Taylor has called on the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to support women in politics. Taylor made the call at the Conference for ECOWAS Female Parliamentarians and Other Women Political and Civil Society Leaders in Monrovia, Liberia. Taylor said that the stories of women being intimidated and victimized for seeking public office have become a trend. That's all on Foreign News. I am Emeka Chime.
Entertainment news.
Dummy Crane accused of threats and cyberbullying as Majek Fashek's manager debunks rumors of the singer's death. George Amadi has more on entertainment.
Dummy Crane was said to have gotten into trouble after a bed company wrote a petition to the police accusing him of threats and cyberbullying. Nigerian musician Johnson Oyedemola, aka Dummy Crane, reportedly risked 3 years imprisonment as Zone 2 Police Command arraigned him today. A copy of the charge document states that Dummy Crane was arraigned on 3 counts bordering on threat to life, defamation, and conduct likely to breach of public peace before an Iboshere magistrate court in Lagos. Dummy Crane was also reported to have threatened public peace when he posted an audio and video message on radio in contravention of section of the state's criminal law. Majek Fashek's manager, Umenka Uzoma, has debunked the rumors that the singer is dead. Mr. Uzoma made this known via the Reggae Music Icon's Instagram page. According to him, the reports on social media about Majek Fashek's death are mere rumors. He also said that the singer is responding to treatment and will require more donations and prayers for well-meaning Nigerians and individuals. The royal family have shown their support for rugby legend Gareth Thomas after he shockingly revealed that he has been living with HIV. Thomas, who revealed that he has been living with HIV for a while and came out in order to give others with the disease more courage and confidence, was one of the VIP guests at wedding of Kate and Williams in 2011. It has been entertainment news, and I'm George Amadi.
Sports update is next.
The 5th edition of the National Youth Games comes to a close today with a closing ceremony built for this afternoon. Austin Isaac joins us live via telephone from University of Ilorin venue of the Games. Hello, Austin. Good afternoon. I can hear you. So what's the situation there? Can you give us some updates? Austin, you may need to change your location and call us back, please, because it's not clear at all. Sorry for that. All right, as soon as we get a clearer signal, we'll bring him on. Now to the commentary. Following continuous security challenges in parts of the country, Okokon Ukpanyang of Kena City FM Calabar writes on the need for cooperation of citizens to tackle crime in the society. And it is read from our studio.
The increasing wave of criminal activities has reached an alarming rate in some states of the Federation in recent times. These criminal activities range from armed robbery, kidnapping, ritual killing, trafficking in persons, herdsmen attacks, extrajudicial killings by police, pipelines, vandalism and bombing, as well as assassination, among others. Communal and land disputes is another serious threat to the security of the nation. Successive generations, both at the federal and state levels, have raised serious concerns about the rise in crime across the country. The Nigeria Police and other security agencies have also taken various steps to deal with the situation, but results have been slow and impractical. Despite the heavy presence of the security operatives in these areas, some criminals still have their ways, indicating that as the security operatives adopt new methods, the criminal also adopts new strategies to operate. No society or state in the world can attain or maintain any reasonable level of socio-economic progress if the problem of security is not aggressively and adequately addressed. Perhaps that is why the clamor for state police has been on the front burner of discussions in recent times to facilitate security services that is closer to the people and familiar within their terrain. Efforts made by some states to join the patrol team of the police and the military is also commendable. Crime eradication entails a lot of intelligence and gathering of information, which calls for the cooperation of the citizenry. Therefore, any state or local government that has not set up vigilante groups in its areas of jurisdiction should do so. Traditional rulers, village heads, and family heads also have a huge role to play in this direction, as they can give detailed activities of persons residing within their community to security operatives when needed. They can also report strange and suspicious activities within their small groups to appropriate authorities. Landlords should ensure that they are constantly aware of the occupation of their tenants before accepting them, as well as monitor their activities regularly. Also, everyone has a role to play in reporting suspicious activities within their neighborhood for immediate action, as some criminals that have been arrested were as a result of prompt and accurate information. Security consciousness should also be taught in schools, and children should be aware of what to do in emergency situations. Lastly, government ought to come up with a toll-free emergency number that can be reached anywhere in the country and employ people to man the phones 24 hours a day in readiness to respond to urgent information on crimes. They should also ensure that the police force and other security operatives are equipped with modern facilities to assist them in the fight against crime. If all these are done, it is believed that crime would be brought to the barest minimum in our society.
That commentary on the need for cooperation of citizens to tackle crime in the society was written by Okokun Ukmanyang of Alkina City FM Calabar and read by Mokbelola Oke. We'll now bring you weather report.
Let's talk weather.
Residents of Port Harcourt and Asaba might experience mostly cloudy weather with temperature ranging from 24 to 29 degrees Celsius. While Calabar, Uyo, Yenogwa and Benin might also witness cloudy weather with temperature ranging from 26 to 28 degrees Celsius. Humidity is highest in Port Harcourt at 94% and lowest in Yenogwa at 74%. Visibility is clear in all forecast cities. That's the weather report. I am Glory Victor.
To end Radio Nigeria, South Zone is a 3, a recap of the major items. State health ministries have highlighted measures put in place to improve healthcare delivery. Bioscience have been urged not to lose confidence in the electoral process. United States has issued satellite images indicting Iran on Saudi oil facilities attacks. Let's support youth as leaders of tomorrow to become agents of change. For your comments, suggestions, and eyewitness reports, email us at newsfrcnssz@gmail.com, or you can call us on 0810-109-2407. On behalf of the news editor, Victory Isoni, and the production team, my name is Rachel ONAH. Thank you very much for listening. Good afternoon.
Bye. Hey.